Well, hey guys, welcome back to the Goodview Woodworks channel. I'm glad you guys came to hang out with me tonight. Sorry, had to put my computer on mute. Thank you guys for coming to hang out with me tonight on our Shop Talk Tuesday live. And if this is your first time here, what we do, this is more like a Q&A session and just a time for us to hang out and for you guys to see what's going on kind of behind the scenes at the Good Woodworks shop. So I want to say Sophie, she was first, Sophie Nelson. Thanks for being safe in traffic. And if you guys see Nathan McCarr there in the comments section, he was one of the few people that asked for this type of content. So he sent me a message on Instagram just asking if I would kind of give the details of what we've been going through in our adoption process. And he was interested in adopting a child maybe later on in life. So what I'm going to do for you guys tonight is just, kind of read your comments, interact with you guys, but also share our experience thus far with our adoption journey. So, Saber Saw, hey yo! How you doing, man? Or lady? And Nathan says, you got a haircut. I sure did. My wife asked me to cut my beard. She said it was getting way too long. Nick Shelton says, it's been hot in the shop, like a hot tub. Hope everything is banging through with the adoption. So guys, this is kind of give you an update on our adoption. It's right now we're in the slow, agonizing stage of what they call active waiting. And essentially what that means is we're just waiting to hear from the agency and a mother who is expecting and who's looking for profile books. So when we get on into how everything works, I'll explain what a profile book is in just a little bit. Guys, I want to thank you so much. Before we get there, is just everybody who's been a part of this channel. I want to thank you for the support and people giving through Super Chat and people giving through the it's like a GoFundMe, but it's called adopttogether.org. I left a link down in the description, but people have been giving there, and it's just really awesome to see you guys kind of hanging out with us, but also coming along with us in this journey and financially supporting us. It's really, really awesome. My wife and I, coming up here this summer, we've been trying to get pregnant for 4 years this summer, and so it's been quite a long time for us, and we're not going to stop to have a child biologically, but we feel like the Lord is leading us in the path toward adoption, and that's where we're going right now. And just to see you guys supporting us just really means a lot to me and my wife, and so I just want to say thank you so much. Kind of starting out how the adoption process works, in case you guys are not familiar. The first thing that we did was we went online and kind of searched for an agency. We didn't really know what to go for, whether we should look for a social worker or for an agency, but we got a few recommendations, one from our pastor at church and one I think through a few other people. So we decided to go with a Christian agency, mainly because they have the same morals and similar thoughts that we have on the subject. And so we found a place that was close, that was local to where we are, and we signed up for kind of like an information packet. And really what happened was they had a quick, like a brief get together, and they invited us out, and we got to sit down and with a little bit of snacks and things like that, and just kind of go over basically what it's like and what to expect through the adoption process. And then what they did was the very next step was they sent us what is it called? Man, I'm losing track of my thoughts here. Excuse me. They sent us an application to apply for the adoption. So bear with me one second. Nathan Shelton says, I have a good friend that adopted. I'll get you his contact info if you're interested. Sure thing. That'd be great. You can either send it on Facebook at Goodview Woodworks or Instagram at Goodview Woodworks. So essentially, once we filled out the application, we sent it in for review, and not too long after that, we had a social worker that kind of spoke with us, kind of gave us the rundown of what we needed to get, and then, hey honey, what was the 2-day class that we took? What was it called? It was like orientation or something?
Yeah, I don't remember the official name, but it's just something.
Okay. So what they did was after the application went through, they signed us up for essentially a 2-day class. It was like an orientation, but it was like a 2-day, I think it was 8 hours a day for 2 days. It was a Saturday and Sunday, where we just got crammed in our brains like a ton of information, which was really cool. So what they did was they kind of gave us a perspective from every viewpoint. So whether that be from the adoptive parents, whether that be from the mother going through with the adoption, or people who have not gone through the adoption process yet, the doctors. I mean, there were like 5 or 6 people that spoke, but it was from every perspective, even older adults that had been adopted before. So it's literally from every perspective, which was really, really good, and then we learned a lot from them. So Nathan McCarr says good. So Nick Garza says, "Sup, Nathan? How are you guys doing today?" Nick, I'm doing well. It was really nice today. It's like almost got up to 80 degrees here in Virginia. So I don't know where you guys are from, but it was nice and warm, and I had my t-shirt on all day today, so it was really, really nice. One cool thing to note is when we were at this 2-day class, it was it was really cool to meet some of the people who were also going through the adoption process. And I would say there were 10 couples, and 8 out of the 10 couples already had children, which I thought was pretty interesting. And I think there was only one other couple that were in a similar situation that we were in, being that we've been trying but unable to successfully have children biologically. So it was just really interesting to see who all was at the orientation. Nathan McCarr says, "Oh, wrong, Nathan. Forgot no one cares about me." Yeah, right. You know what? Nick Shelton, he could be speaking to me. I don't know. Ask him if he was talking to you, Nathan McCarr, or me, Nathan of Goodview Woodworks. Nicholas Shelton, let me know who you were talking to. So at this orientation, I would say one of the things that kind of stuck out to me was one of the doctors went through, and they just explained a lot of the trauma and things that these children may or may not have gone through, being that a lot of the adoptions come from a low income, or some of them come from like a very what's the word? More like we have to be okay with it if came from a drug and what's the word? Well, high risk. That's it. Thanks, honey. From a high risk situation. So a lot of these kids come from a high risk situation, whether that be, drugs, alcohol, situations like that, or just abusive families. They come from all different types, and they just kind of giving us information on some of the things that I didn't know, and some things I didn't think of. And they are this agency that we're going through mentioned that they kind of encourage open adoption. And what open adoption means is that you, as the adoptive parents, are in communication or even have relationships with the mothers who place their children for adoption. And at first, I will be honest, at first I was kind of like, I'm not sure about this because I don't know who this person is. And, to be honest with you, I kind of judged this person that I've never even met what I came to realize is that having an open adoption or having a relationship with the mother who places their child for adoption opens up an area for a relationship that may not have been possible, and for us to show Christ's love to another person. So to show somebody that may have not been treated well before, but if we could do that same thing for them, this might be the only opportunity that they have to meet somebody and have them share the Christ's love with them. And so that kind of opened my eyes a little bit to that side, which I had never thought about before. So that was that was a pretty cool, pretty different way to look at it, and and I'll move on to the next step here. I'm going to catch up on some of the comments here. Nick Garza says, "You got to get drunk, LOL." I'm not sure what you mean by that. Oh, I hope maybe you mean to get pregnant. I mean, maybe that's what you mean. I don't know. Nathan McCarr says, question, who in the world thought it'd be a good idea to name a product baby powder, which happens to be severely hazardous to a baby if used on them? I'm not sure, Nathan. That's a good question. Maybe I could answer that later. I have no idea.
Want to hurry up on this topic, honey? I don't know.
So also another thing that we experienced there was just how long it takes for this process to kind of go through. So what they said was the average wait time once we have our home study done and all those things, all the paperwork's taken care of, the average wait time would be between 1 to 2 years before we get placement. And that was kind of a shock to us. I wasn't really sure how long it would take, and that is quite a while. And then I told you before I would get back to the profile books, so I wanted to tell you exactly what a profile book. To me, so far, this is the most fun part and also the most nerve-wracking part. And what a profile book is pretty much like if you had a Facebook profile in book form. So Aaron and I had to come up with pictures of each other. We had to come up with pictures of our family and friends, and that way somebody who is wanting to place their child for adoption can go through this book and kind of get a bird's eye view of us as a family. And it's really hard and really, like I said, nerve-wracking to try to tell a stranger who you are with pictures and brief paragraphs on what you like to do, what your family is like, and also try to tell them that you're not a creeper all at the same time. But going back and reading over the book, it was just really cool to kind of see what somebody else might see when they're looking for prospective parents. So if you guys have any questions on the adoption process, feel free to leave a comment, and maybe we can go over some of those. And if you need to get, if you want to know how much it costs and all that, I would be glad to share some of that stuff too. Nick Shelton says, I think we as a group should be more considerate of what Nathan and his wife are going through. Hey, Nick, I appreciate that. I don't think anybody has been too crazy, but I really do appreciate that. You know, it is tough. I will say that, you know, the longer that we go between periods where we're not hearing from anybody or hearing from the social worker, it is really hard to know when is it going to happen. You know, my wife and I really would love to become parents one day, and you know, we decided to go through adoption because we wanted to give a child that needed a home a chance, and so we are really excited to be parents. Sophie Nelson says, y'all are awesome. She put, even as ye do this unto the least of these, you do unto me. I will say a prayer as I truly believe, all glory to him. And I am home, no more traffic. So, hey, Sophie, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Yes, if you guys have been on my channel before, you may or may not know that we are Christians and all the glory goes to God. And, you know, he calls us to love him first and love people second. And that's what I'm trying to do on this channel, not only through the adoption process, but sharing my knowledge of woodworking and epoxy with you guys, because God calls us to love people, and that's what I'm doing, is I'm showing you guys some love, and I hope you guys appreciate it. And if you don't, I'm going to love you anyways. Oh, Nathan, see, Sophie reached out to you. Now he says, my life has been complete. Oh, man. So, Nathan, one thing that we learned at the adoption course was that people, the more preferences they have, whether it be boy or girl, or, you know, even like what's the right word that I should put here? Nationality, you know, and then whether they have any kind of birth defects, or, you know, weird medical history or anything like that. The more stipulations you have, obviously the wait time's gonna be longer. But because Nathan mentioned to me that he would like to adopt a child with special needs, if you were to go through that, you would kind of get put near the top, because not as many people would like to adopt a child that has special needs, and that's really sad. But what's really cool is to understand that there are people out there that are that loving, that would choose to adopt a child with special needs. So Craig says, we are going through the same thing, adoption from Honduras. Every time I watch one of your videos a day, a prayer for you to for your adoption to go through. Craig, we really appreciate that, and you know, we really need that. Any and all prayers are welcomed, and we thank you for the support. Appreciate that. So if you guys have any more questions about the adoption, I'll give you a few minutes to answer, and if not, I'm also opening up the floor for any of the epoxy questions you may or may not have. And I want to throw it out there too. Did you guys happen to see the final video of the 12-gallon epoxy river table for the yacht? Had to wet my whistle. Oh, Nathan, Nathan McCarr asked, how much did it weigh? I'm assuming that your table, you're talking about the table and not the boat, because I don't know how much the boat weighs. The table was around a little over 200 pounds. It was pretty heavy, actually. And Craig, thanks. I appreciate that. Mike Cawthon, there you go. Mike. If you see Mike in the comments here, he's the one with the boat, and he says a lot. He says 44,000 pounds. That's how much his boat weighs. Now it's 44,200 pounds. I would say if you guys haven't I mean, I'm sure you noticed, but the swirls in the epoxy, I wanted to kind of go over that because I skipped over that a little bit in the video, not meaning to. And so what I did for the swirls was I waited almost 3 hours after pouring, and I went back with a stir stick and stirred it to the design that I wanted to. And it actually, the pigment stayed that way, which was really nice. So if you guys want to have a similar look like that, what you need to do is go wait a couple hours, go back and stir it, and keep an eye on it too, and to see if the pigment falls. If it starts to fall, you can always go back and stir it again. Nick Garza says, hey guys, God will bless with a child that will be perfect for you guys. I know I don't know you guys personally, but you all seem like down-to-earth, hardworking people. Good luck, guys. Nick, we really appreciate that. And you know, we know that the Lord does have a special child just for us. So He's kind of led us on this path, and we know that He is going to bless us in the end. And so we really appreciate that. Craig says, "What type of epoxy do you use to bond wood together?" Well, in the river table build, I use Stone Coat Countertops epoxy. I used their casting resin called Supercast to pour into the river, and it did really well. It was very strong all by itself. So it was really cool. Nathan McCarr asked, "Why are there only 4 people here today? Last week we had 20." Well, 20 some. And so, well, you know, Nathan, yeah, he says he's blind. It says 11. Well, that's okay. You know, I'm here to just hang out with you guys, and whoever wants to hang out, it's all good under the hood. So some people, you know, they may not, you know, they probably come here for the woodworking thing, and they might not want to know about the adoption stuff, and that's all good too. Sophie says, "Saw it, and any suggestions on underlighting?" And it was prettier than in the building room. Oh, well, Sophie, thank you. So the only thing I would suggest with underlighting, I didn't underlight this table, but what I would suggest would be that there would be, what I would do was in the bottom of the table under the river somewhere, I would not embed the LEDs into the epoxy, because if one ever blows or goes out or something like that, then you're kind of SOL. However, if you cut a groove with a router or something in the river, you could light it and have a piece of plexiglass or something underneath that would hold it in there. That way, if it ever went bad, you could remove it and replace it, and your table would still look really nice. Sophie says, "Nathan, did you bathe today? Maybe it's your fault." Just kidding. You know, I do bathe, you know, at least once a week. Michael Russell says, "Hope it moves forward quickly." Mike Collins says, "I'm thinking of putting some down lighting under the table. Thanks for that suggestion." Hey, not a problem, Bo. It's a bad haircut. No, this is called head hair, guys, right here. uh, so, Eddie DeVito says, Nate, what's up, bro? What's up, Eddie? Nicholas Sheldon says, learned a new trick the other day. Use sawdust and or flour if you need epoxy to cure faster. That is a pretty neat trick. Have you tried it yet? Also, does the flour or sawdust change the color of the epoxy? Chris Marsh, what's up? Thanks for coming and hanging out tonight. So guys, I just wanted to thank you again for all the people who are just now signing on. I want to thank you for the support of this channel. I want to thank you guys for watching my videos and also commenting and hanging out with us. I want to thank everybody who has done super chat and given to the channel that way. Everything helps, obviously, for the adoption. Hold on one second. I want to thank you for everyone that has supported us through the adopttogether.org link, which is in the description of this video. And let me see. And I just want to tell you guys, I really, really appreciate everything that you guys do for us. There's been a few people that have reached out and also given to the channel. So you guys are awesome. I want to say thanks again. Thanks to, I haven't seen William on here in a while, but he also gave to our adoption fund, and I want to say thank you to him as well. I didn't give him thanks earlier. Eddie DeVito says, how come you never burp when you drink LaCroix? I tear up when I drink it. I'm just trying to burp very, very quietly because it does. It makes me burp a lot. I'm not special by any means. Nick Shelton says, if you add pigment to it, it doesn't... Hold on. Nick said, if you add pigment to it, it doesn't change that much, I guess is what he's trying to say there. I'll have to look into it. I have to see what I can do and see if I can find out something pretty cool with that tip. I do want to try it. Nathan McCart says, I don't have any money. However, you give me $20 and I'll give you 10 back into Super Chat. Hey, man. Hey, Nathan. You know, one day you can get one of those things that people have. You know, they go to work. You know, it's called a job. If you get one of those, you might be able to earn a little bit of money. I'm totally kidding. I'm totally kidding. Robert Nichols says you need to do a behind-the-scenes video showing your setup and video equipment and what all you do to get a video up for viewing. Robert, that's a really good idea. I could totally do that. You'd actually be surprised on how the little amount of equipment that I have. Nathan says I'm gonna go cry in the corner now. No, please don't. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Don't do that. Don't cry. Don't make me feel bad. Chris Marsh says the table turned out nice. However, I must say that if you delivered a table to me at that price, I would be pissed. What do you mean at that price? The price was a really good price. Jeremy P says, sorry I'm late. I had my day screwed up. Hey, Jeremy, it's all good. What's up, man? Thanks for hanging out with us. Chris, you know, I'm not sure how many things that you've priced up before, but we always want to get paid for our labor. And believe me, the owner I did not hurt him in any way. I didn't get over on him at all. So. Chris says it was a great price, but Bubbles, really? Yeah, really. Because of the time constraint, he needed it for a trip, and I didn't have time for 3 seal coats. Only did 1, so we did end up getting a few bubbles on the island and also in one of the little cracks on the side. So, but I will say something that's really cool. Had a couple of companies reach out to me this week, and
Get off of me.
and one of the companies is Star Bond, and they're going to send out some super glue. And so what we're going to do is I'll show you how to repair some cracks and stuff like that using some of that Star Bond stuff, so that I won't get bubbles in the future.
Stop it. No.
Hold on one second. Haven't shown Roxy in a while. I wanted you guys. She was being real crazy in the other room, so I wanted you guys to say hello to Roxy. And until we do get a child, this is our fur baby right here. She's a really good girl, isn't that right, Roxy? Huh? You a good girl? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes, you are. Sophie says, "Yeah, she sounds like a big dog." Yeah, she's about 45 pounds. She's not that big. So say hello to everybody, Roxy. Look, come here. You see? Say hello. All right, girl. Yeah, she was misbehaving. She was not listening to Mama over there. So Mike Cawthon says, "Money went to a great person. We have a teenage daughter, and we think everyone should experience the joy of raising a teenage girl." Hey, Mike, yeah, we would love to have that experience as well. William Wagman says, "Stay away from those bee holes." I know. I get stung every time I get near one of those things. Jennifer says, "Hi, Roxy." You guys are awesome. You guys are hilarious too. Hey, William, how you doing, man? Haven't seen you on here in a while. You okay, baby? So William says, so what we chit-chatting about? So William, so just kind of getting you up to speed here. Nathan McCarr, if you guys don't know him, he comes on here every week, and he also hangs out with us and chats it up. He's the one that came up with the Cheapskate Challenge title, and so he private messaged me on Instagram and asked me kind of what all is involved with the adoption process. So I gave him from our perspective, what we're going through. It's different for a lot of people, and so I was just I wanted to get with you guys and share where we are now, but also what we went through so far. So that's what we're doing. And he says Roxy is restless tonight. Yes, she is. I don't know what her deal is tonight. Nathan says, if you can raise a dog, then you can raise triplets. Maybe. I would love to raise triplets. That'd be great. Aaron and I, we would like, the more kids, the merrier for us. But I'm not sure. I think a dog would be easier than children. I will have to say that. William says he's awesome as always. Well, that's really cool, man. Have you had any more projects recently? Chris Marsh says, so what's new for Goodview? Any new projects coming up? Yes, yes, we have a few projects coming up. So this week, actually, what we will be doing is we're going to be making a small cutting board. It's a collaboration video with another guy, as a Christian apologist, and we spoke back and forth on Facebook, and I just wanted to give to his ministry. So what we're going to do is we're going to make his wife a cutting board with epoxy. So we're going to get I have a nice small piece of live edge walnut, and we're going to do a pretty cool little cutting board for her. So it'll be a quick video, but it'll also be, for some people who haven't worked with epoxy a lot, it kind of give you an idea of a small project that you could knock out in a weekend, and for like a trial on epoxy, so that way you're not investing a lot of money and stuff at first. So Gardner says, that's awesome. It can be a tedious process. You're going to give a less fortunate kid a fantastic home. We are talking about a baby and not adopting a dog, right? Yes. Yes, we were talking about adopting a child, not a dog. Nathan says, I heard you were going to make an epoxy table for me. Yeah, sure. What kind of table would you like? William Wagman says, finished table 2 and bought a trailer, got some slabs and a sawmill, and going to go on the road side and sell slab/tables. Hopefully, fingers crossed. I'll post some pics. Hey man, that sounds really, really awesome. Yes, I would love to see pictures. And who knows, if you have some pretty good slabs, I might get you to ship one to me. I'll pay for shipping and stuff like that, and of course the lumber, depending on what you got. Sophie Nell says, hey, just a thought. Have you thought of working with fostering kids? Sometimes that's a wonderful avenue, but y'all's decision and goals. So, Sophie, yes, that was one of the things that we've kind of contemplated, and we possibly will in the future do foster to adopt. But our first experience with a child, we kind of wanted an infant, doing an infant adoption. And I wasn't sure at first until I actually got into it. I didn't really know what it meant for foster to adopt. And so I was worried, because I get really attached really quickly, that I wouldn't want to be in a position where I would be loving this child as my own and then have to give them back. So it was that was something personal to me. I guess I would get too attached too quickly, and that was kind of the idea. So Eddie asked, any progress on the beehive? Not yet. That is coming up soon as well. I'm really nervous on how to start, so I've been trying to test some pieces here and there to make sure it's good to do, because I don't want to ruin it. Gardner says, always love the live streams. I've visited quite a few now. Keep it up. Hey, man, I appreciate that. Or man or woman, I'm not sure. But thanks, I really appreciate it. William says, got a jet, no rest for the wicked. Adios. See you later, William. Thanks for hanging out with us just for the time that you got. I really appreciate that. So guys, we have that cutting board coming up soon. If you guys remember, we have the Cheapskate Challenge coming up. April 19th is the deadline for the entries for the Cheapskate Challenge. Remember, all you have to do to enter is send me a picture on Instagram or Facebook with the hashtag Cheapskate Challenge to enter. And what we'll do is we'll pick 3 essentially runner-ups, and I will post I'll make a post on YouTube, and we'll have you guys choose the winner. So yeah, just gotta keep you guys a heads up on that. Barry Walborn says, first time making to the live chat, great channel. Gonna attempt a small river table. Should I go with the cheaper epoxy in case I screw it up, or go stone coat route? Praying for your adoption too. Hey, Barry, that's a great question. I would recommend, if you're going to do a river table, I would go ahead and get the casting resin, their super cast for the river pour. It's a little more forgiving because it has a long set time, and you can pour it really thick. So it's a little bit more forgiving. If you wanted to go with a cheaper epoxy for the top coat, you could totally do that. So that's what I would suggest, is at least for the casting resin part. Stone Coat Countertops has the cheapest casting resin that I've found, other than Epoxy, and that's really expensive. So you can pour it thick. You only have to do one pour. So I would go that route if I were you. Nathan says, got to go do homework. See you next week. Hey, Nathan. See you later. And thanks for helping me come up with some good content. I really appreciate it. Chris Marsh says, by the way, I've learned more from your channel than any video I've seen on YouTube. You're a great teacher. I bet you make a great parent as well. Chris, oh man, thank you. Thank you so much. That is my goal. One of my goals in life is to be a great parent, and I thank you for that. Really appreciate it. And guys, any quick questions before I get off here? I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight, asking me some questions, and just supporting us through our adoption process. Whether that be through watching the videos and liking and commenting, whether that be giving in Super Chat or our adopttogether.org. And I just want to thank you all for being a part of this. So I want to say good night to you guys, and I am excited to see you next week. Shop Talk Tuesday live. Remember, it's at 7:15 Eastern Standard Time, p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you guys have any questions during the week, don't forget to go over to the Facebook page, Good View Woodworks Facebook page, and you can make posts there. There are other people that are part of that can also help you guys out. And also, you could send me a direct message on Instagram at Good View Woodworks. So guys, thank you. I will see you guys and talk to you guys next week. Thanks for hanging out with us. I'm out of here. Good night.